Happy Wonderland Wednesday! Today, our guest is my very special friend, David Shair. And David is a storyboard artist. Now, maybe many of you know what a storyboard artist does, but maybe some are not familiar with that. So we're going to dive in with Dave on what a storyboard artist does today. Dave's credits include Camp Coral for Nickelodeon, the new SpongeBob spinoff that's airing on Paramount+. Dave also has worked on the new Looney Tunes, including writing some episodes as well. And when I first met Dave, he was working on a show called Fish Hooks, which is a really fun show. Hey guys, hey Julie, it's good to see you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in live. If you have a friend that you might want to invite to the show, you can go ahead and click on the arrow. Maybe it's this side. Click on the little airplane button and you can go ahead and invite them. I'm going to go ahead and add Dave to the stream. Nope, he's not here yet. I'm going to go and vamp for a few minutes while Dave gets on the stream. And then we'll be ready to go. Here he is. Hey, Dave. I am going to add you and invite you. Let's see. There you are, my friend. For Dave Shair. It's weird. I called you Dave. I always call you David. I only really know you as a David, so.
Oh, boy.
Hi.
Hi. Hey.
It's so good to see your face.
Good to see you too. Wow. Hey, look.
Welcome to Alicyn's Wonderland. Thank you so much for joining us.
Totally. Hey, great to be here. You're right above me. Look at that.
Yeah, we're like the Brady Bunch here.
Yeah, totally. This is...
Which one are you?
Come on.
If you had to pick a Brady Bunch character, which one would you be?
Oh, which one you think is most like myself, or which one would I want to be?
Both.
Oh gosh, it's been a while since I've been to the Brady Bunch. I'm probably I am the youngest, so is that Bobby? Okay. I'll be Bobby. Yeah, that probably fits. But I had two way older sisters, so I was pretty much grew up from 5 on alone in the house. So I'm sort of youngest only, I guess. But and then, who would you want to be? I wonder who you want to be. Was Greg was pretty popular, but so was Marsha. Marsha was pretty popular, I think.
Marsha.
Yeah, she got whatever she wanted. That's pretty cool.
Well, we can't both be Marsha.
That's true, I guess. Okay. Well, then I am Jan.
I'll fight you for it. Really? It's so good to see your face. I haven't seen you in person. You know, we've chatted and I've seen your avatar, but I haven't seen you in person in a couple of years, I think. How are you doing? I am
just an avatar now. That's all I really am. This isn't this is a hologram.
Aren't we all?
It's been a while though. Yeah, I know, in person. That's like, we'll remedy that soon, I promise.
Yes. Yeah, it's so good to have you on here. The funny story for you guys that are tuning in, Dave, do you ever go by Dave? I always call you David.
Either one, Call me whatever you want. I'll understand.
So Dave/David was one of the guests on the old school original podcast version. No, the second reboot of Alicyn's Wonderland, because the show started as a web series, then became a podcast, and now is being rebooted as an IGTV show and turning into a podcast on Monday. It's a
reimagining.
It's the reimagining. It's like we're taking it back to the future.
That's amazing.
They should make a movie about that.
They should. Oh, someday we'll get some funding and we'll make that.
Yeah, I think it could be very marketable. Back to the future.
I get it. I think. You got to think about it a little bit, but I think I can get it.
So let's start at the very beginning. With young little David, and I think what you do is as a storyboard artist is such a cool profession, because I was talking with Elizabeth Ito last week and she was saying, as a kid she didn't realize that you could be an artist, so and not just be a starving bohemian or something, and you've made this career as a storyboard artist, and I'm so curious about how you got involved in all that. How did it start?
Oh, well, and I guess I liked to draw as a kid, but I wasn't very good at it, and I didn't do it like prolifically. I just like to do mainly Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Looney Tunes characters, maybe a Disney princess here or there. So those were most of my what I like to bring to life via drawing. And
No
then at
Heathcliff,
some
no Heathcliff, no Garfield.
no Heathcliff Garfield is hard as heck. Oh gosh, but you know, there's a game where it's called we play at the studio sometimes called Draw Garfield, and just out of your imagination, just draw him. It's very hard. He's a puzzle. But you know, you could do it maybe with practice. But it is a game we play because he is a different one to play. But yeah, no. But I do like Heathcliff. I do like Garfield. I just never really drew him. And then there was a point in high school where it was like, oh, you can't do this quite as a job. You got to get serious, kid. Even though I did art classes and such. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, you have to be talented to do it. And I was like, so I'm mostly eating lunch during art class here. Oh, did I freeze for a second there?
For a second, yeah. But you're
I
back.
did, right? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I was mostly eating lunch in art class during high school. So that was more, and I didn't do, you know, I wasn't really, I was just like, oh, this is fun. But it wasn't, I was taking it seriously. In my mid-20s, until I got to that point, I got into improvisational acting.
You did
that
groundling.
led me into animation. I did, well, I did do groundlings eventually. At this point, I was in New York. So I did this place called The Pit, the People's Improv Theater there. And it's kind of where there's a bunch of improv theaters in New York City all around, I want to say like the 20s somewhere, maybe the 28th Street or something. But they're all kind of there. And I took a career class there. And because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was working with animals at that point at the zoo. But I don't know, entertainment and improv. I was like, acting, but there's got to be something here. And animation popped up in the career class. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to go for it. It has acting. I just need to learn to draw. I went to art school. And that was so, and then just did that.
Wow. So you actually didn't go to art school till you were in your mid-20s. That's an interesting career path.
Late 20s, yeah.
Late 20s. Wow.
Yeah. It was you can do this, I think, at any point. So you know, it's never too late, I think. I mean,
I love that.
yeah. That's not, there's even later. You could do even later, way later than the late 20s, but that was just when I happened to do it. And,
how did your family feel about your sudden career change?
Oh, they were very supportive. That was incredibly helpful. You know, it's not, you can't always choose your family. Luckily, mine was very supportive, and they said, you know, try a semester, see how it goes. And the first semester, and in that first semester, I was like, oh, I was like, I'm a space cadet. Like, it's hard to concentrate with me sometimes. But I found out I could spend like 30 to 40 hours on one drawing and just like doing it, you know, not like straight, but like a good amount of time each time, and just sort of like focused on it. And I thought like, oh, I could never do that on just like one thing, but I found out I could. And it was like, okay, all right, maybe this is something I can do.
That's amazing. And it seems like cartooning and storyboarding is kind of a cross section of the things that you were already working on that sort of can't be taught, like comedy and timing and things that you learn in improv and perfect.
As best you can.
Improv is so imperfect. But, you know, do you feel that helped you later?
Most definitely. That's why I picked it. The acting in animation, I had two choices myself in school, and what to emphasize in with acting was character animation or storyboarding. And storyboarding seemed to involve a lot of things all at once. So does animation, but in terms of storyboards, it's cinematography, editing, acting, writing, even staging, which might be the same as cinematography, and I just might be repeating myself. But there's a lot of things in storyboards, and I like thinking of a lot of things at once. And I'm like, that's cool. This seems to be the job for that. And being able to write, you know, improv acting leads to being able to write well. I always recommend improvisation to anyone who wants to do animation. I think it's especially storyboarding. It's incredibly helpful.
Can you, for those of our viewers that might not be familiar, can you help describe the storyboard artist process in the
Oh
animation
yeah,
pipe chain?
totally. Okay, so it depends on what kind of a show it is. Some shows are script driven, meaning a script is written and you storyboard from a script. Some shows are storyboard driven, where it's an outline given to you, basically like kind of how a story is going to go, but not so much dialogue or anything. And you have to take that and interpret it and create a cartoon from it and write all the dialogue as a storyboard artist. So it's near the beginning of the whole pipeline. It's after either a script's written or
Mhm.
an outline is written. And usually an outline becomes a script. In storyboard driven, we're getting the outline and we're making the script within the board while drawing the cartoon. So it's like
Oh,
sometimes you're writing before you draw. Sometimes you're drawing and then you're right. You know, it's like, oh, so he's got to say something here. He's happy. Bugs Bunny is happy. What would, you know, and later I'm like, I'll come back to that. Let's see what, you know, whatever Bugs Bunny might say when he's happy. So,
it's funny because you mentioned that as a kid you liked to draw Looney Tunes, and now you're working on Looney Tunes.
oh,
Um,
yeah, yeah. I got to work with them.
that's work.
It was a thing. I did four hard years with those Looney Tunes characters. Like, it was, and then I went on parole. No, it was good. It was like going to like Acme University. It was like college. It was
Literally.
two shows. Yes, that was a thing. And we had to study them. You know, I mean, growing up, I watched them with my dad. I watched them with my sister. We loved them as a family. So that was in my head. But also while doing the shows, a lot of times I would watch it over breakfast. I'd watch a couple of shorts and just sort of get the rhythm of them as much as I could in my head. Because, yeah, you still have to study while on the job. It never stops.
Would you say that was a dream come true for you?
Yeah, totally. Everything else is just it's going to be downhill, uphill, whatever stinks after. It's never going to compare. I've reached my peak, as they say. And now it's time to slide down that mountain on my butt.
The slow slip into insanity.
Yeah.
Well, with Looney Tunes, that is a board-driven show. Is that right?
Yep, that one was board driven. I did the two different shows. The first one was semi board driven. It was a different kind of process where we all kind of boarded on
Which show was that?
Post-its. That one was called New Looney Tunes. Also,
New.
before the first season it was Wabbit. The second and third season it was New Looney Tunes, and that was we all wrote together in a room. Like there was an outline and some dialogue and such, but we kind of all storyboarded as a team in like a day. We did it on Post-its. We just like would do the storyboard on Post-its.
Oh my God, those are my favorite Post-its, by the way, the extra large ones.
These ones? Yeah, this is,
Yes.
funnily enough, if you get these are pretty much the exact aspect ratio of a TV screen and like a widescreen HD TV screen. Yeah, totally. And if you draw in here, you're getting the same format. You got it. So
I can rip for Looney Tunes.
That's it. You can do it. It's like you get part of the story, I get part of the story, and you'd be drawing what it's going to look like on these little Post-its. And then putting at the end, we collect all our sections. Like we had like 4 hours to do it, put it up on a wall, and they're all in order. And then the showrunner, who's the head writer, and also the two other writers would go over it and punch up the dialogue and things we had written and make it like funnier. And then he'd pitch it at the end of the day. So it was like a whole day-long process to form the basic story. And then the storyboard artist would take that cartoon once it was all pitched and approved back to their cube, and they'd scan all those drawings into the computer and then draw over them and do all the in-betweens and sort of like plus it and things. And that was the process on that previous show. It was a team doing it in a room that just then got handed off to a storyboard artist later, and then they would make the whole thing within Toon Boom Storyboard Pro, the program, and draw it all pretty like and stuff.
And so in the room, was that all board artists? Was it a mix of writers and board artists?
Good question. It was writers and board artists to start, then leave. And then the board artists, maybe a revisionist, which I was, and also I was doing like revisions and boards on that show a little bit. but sometimes boards, artists, and revisionists.
You know what, David? Your audio is cutting out a
Oh,
little bit.
we froze again.
Let me just
Sorry.
double check. Let's both check our internet connections.
Sometimes
Let's check our internet connection and make sure we're on the right line.
Doing it, and then the writers would come back in. So also we'd have an art director. Am I still there? Am I?
No, I can see you now.
Am I frozen? I will keep talking.
Can you see
and
me?
see if.
I think there's a delay though. Yeah. You know what? Let's disconnect and reconnect on here. Want to do that? Okay. I'll meet you back here, everybody. We're gonna redo that.